Hello, it's Monday the 24th of July. We're 2 weeks on from when we renovated this lawn, and as you can see behind me, it's looking absolutely fantastic. So if we just have a look what it looked like 2 weeks ago after it had finished. Remember, we scarified it and then we fed it with Dan's Deep Green, and then we came back the next day and we put a whole host of liquid nutrition on as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do what we said. We're going to renovate the other side, but before we do that, let's get this cut and let's see how it looks 2 weeks on. Okay, so looks absolutely delicious, doesn't it? Whoa, look at that. Yeah. Let's just have a flick back to how it looked 2 weeks ago. And then today, what a difference. So we've put Dan's Deep Green on and the liquids the day after. Lots of water, which rained a lot, so we haven't had to water it in, which is an absolute triumph, isn't it? So what we're going to do now is we're going to get it cut. We're going to cut it with the Rotary first, and then we'll get it with a cylinder. We'll see how it looks. Undecided on which way I'm going to go yet, but what I've been doing whilst you've not been here, I've just been cutting as normal. Don't stop your cutting. Yeah, don't cut the day after. If you like put the granular feed on and it's not been watered in, not a good idea. But if it's watered in, I cut. So I put it on the Monday. I cut this on the Friday for the first time because the Wednesday was really heavy rain. But I cut it on the Friday, and I did it last week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Today's Monday, so we're just going on as normal. But yeah, look at that, look how thick it is, look at that. Oh, yes. Alright, so that's the second cylinder cut of this year on this side. First one I did last Friday. Second one today. Looking spot on. Alright, we've seen the results of that side looking spot on. Now last time we were here I also said we'd do a renovation on this side as well. Now what I was going to do was do the same as that side and get Yield Faithful out and give this one a good going over. But I put a post out on Instagram which said, shall I renovate? Now everybody came back, who did come back, and said, well, it's looking so good, why bother? So I'm going to take notice of that, and we're just going to do a light renovation on this side today. We'll put some products on and we'll do a bigger renovation in a month or so, and then have a blast towards the end of the year and get some regrowth and have a good end to the year that way. And I'm going to use an attachment nobody's seen before, and I can't show you just because it's top secret, but we're going to give it a go. You'll be able to see how many lines, how many blades are on it, because there's going to be so many lines, but I just can't show you, unfortunately. In the future we'll be able to, but just not today. So we're going to give it a go. I've had it a while, I've just not had a chance to play with it yet, so today's going to be that day. So let's just crack on and get going. What I'm going to do first is I'm not going to mow it because it's been so wet yesterday, Sunday. The last day of the cricket got washed out just because it was a washout in the northwest. So I'm just going to get straight on with the verticutter because I think too much machinery use today is going to do more damage at this bottom end because it does tend to hold water there. So I'm just going to get the sterling out. It's already out, blade's already on there, and I'm just going to do it. What I'm going to do is today I want to try and get rid of this double stripe just because we don't want that long growing in the direction of the stripe. And what I'm going to do today is do it 2 passes, and I'm going to go diagonal, so we'll get diagonal crisscross. And hopefully that then will try and negate this stripe that we've created over the last few weeks. So let's crack on. So I've set the Allett sterling down to 0 on this side here, and this is when using any of the vertical attachments. We go down to this side here. So I've just done the one pass and all this has come out. Look at all this horrible yellow necrotic growth. That's like your dying leaf that will become your thatch layer if we don't get this stuff out. So that's just off one pass. It's what more than we'd get with a mow actually, that. So looking good so far. Okay, now you can see that I've done one way diagonal, and I did say I was going to do the other way diagonal as well, but that fence at the top causes too many problems when I'm turning and end up chafing my knuckles on the concrete post, so it's not worth it because I need them in good working order. So what I'm going to do is I've come down there like that against the stripe because normally I would go up there, so I've come down. So what I'll do is I'll go up that down stripe, back down this one, and so on and so forth, and we'll get rid of that stripe and create a new one, reset it, get on with the rotary, then get on with the cylinder, and then get some products on. Alright, you could just keep going with that thing, it just keeps ripping more and more out. I've just come down the stripe again and I've taken up quite a bit of the box, just can't show you because the blade's in there. So we've been cutting this at 23mm, but now we've done the vertical with the new cartridge. You can see how long it actually is. So what I'm going to do now is, if I just go on in now with the cylinder mower, the front roller is just going to squash this down and it's not really going to cut. So what I'm going to do is, like always, go on with the rotary, and this enables us to get deeper because there's no roller on the front. The grass gets cut before the back roller goes over it, so that's why I always do that. But looking good. Sun's just going in, so we can see how green the lawn actually is now. So looking really nice, even though it's a bit long, not been cut for 4 days, so it's obviously going to be quite long with it being in the condition it's in, but nevertheless still looking really good. And last time, like I said, even like top Premier League pitches have necrotic growth in, so don't worry about it. Okay, so just ready to go on with the hater. We've got it on setting number 2, so let's go. Okay, so we're just back at the place where we were just before we cut with the rotary, and as you can see now it's looking a lot tighter. So if we just have a look at before and then this, you can see that that rotary has really reduced that height. What I'm going to do now is just go over it with the cylinder just to polish those tips up, because if we don't, if we come back tomorrow, we'll find the grass has gone white, because that's what happens when you cut really short with a rotary. You've got to polish those tips up after with the cylinder to stop that happening, so we'll do that now. Remember, as always, when you're finished with the vertical cutting attachment, turn your wheel on the Allett back up to where you want to be. So what we'll do is, we know we can cut at 23 because that's where we were before. I've got one hand on the phone obviously and one hand on the sterling, but if you just tilt the sterling back a little bit when you're turning clockwise, it just makes it a little bit easier to turn the wheel, just because obviously all the weight is on that roller and we're trying to pull it up. So I just can't do that because I've not got 3 hands. Alright, just have a look at these grass clippings. Don't they just look amazing? How fine they are. Even though we cut it on 2 and it looked pretty short, just going over at 23, it actually looked, as we were walking, like we weren't actually taking anything off, which is very fine. But obviously over the whole lawn, they build up, and that's what you get. And they smell absolutely delicious as well, to make it even better. Okay, so we're back in the same place as we was before, but this time after a cylinder cut. And as you can see now, we're even tighter, and as you've just seen, the clippings there, we're looking really good now. So what we're going to do now is get some products on to get it looking as good as the other side. Okay, so just like on the other side, we're using Dan's Deep Green Granular Fertiliser. And then in our tank, we've got Stella, Orbit, Grace, Slow Grow, and Dan's Magic Liquid Lawn Feed. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Now what have we got to do? We've got to come back tomorrow if it doesn't rain and water that side in to get those granules in and get those liquids washed in. Now did you know, I was listening to Talk Sport the other day. That's not what did you know I was listening to Talk Sport the other day, because obviously you wouldn't know that. But did you know that, I'll just show you in a sec, when you go on the Met Office app or any weather app and it says 60% chance or 70% chance of rain, I was listening to Talk Sport and Andy Goldstein was on, and he said, did you know that that is not 60% chance of rain in that area? It is 60% of that area will be covered in rain at that point. So what do you think? Do you think that's right, or do you think it's 60% chance of rain, or 60% of that area that it is in will be raining? Interesting. I've told it to a few people, they say no, that's not right, but I think it could be right, because when I've seen it says 10%, it's actually bombed it down, and if it was 10% of Bolton was raining at that point, it would fit in with what he's saying. So what do you think? Leave remarks in the comments if you want to. So what have we done here? We cut that with the rotary and then went over with the cylinder. So all in all today, we've used the cylinder twice in terms of cutting, and then we've used it twice to do the verticals, and I've used 3 bars on the 5 batteries. We've got 2 bars left, and that was on a full charge. So the verticutting really does take life out of the battery, which we thought we would, just because there's more resistance anyway. But I've got to charge it on. I've reminded myself to charge it every night, and I'm keeping up with that. Looking at getting my van fitted with some kind of plug, like just made inquiries, so we're waiting to hear about that, and that would really revolutionise my life. So if you want to see more lawns being turned around like this, join us next time on Daniel Hibbert Lawn Expert, when we will be doing something else lawn related. Bye for now.